Welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast hosted by Rhodey and Diz. The boys will share their tall tales of the one that got away, as well as some regular segments they know all you fishing tragics will enjoy.
G'day and welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian Fishing Podcast. Diz, welcome to episode 21.
Thanks, Rhodey. Good to be here with you, mate.
Got a ripping guest on today's show. Diz, tell the guys about who we've got.
We've got Lubin Pfeiffer.
He's a gun, isn't he?
Absolute gun. Very well, dressed. Serious medals.
Well dressed.
Like a
well-credentialed?
Well-credentialed fisherman.
I've never taken that much notice of his fashion, but you obviously have.
He's got some serious things on his resume, Rhodey.
He's certainly got some runs on the board, Lubin.
Yes, he does.
We'll get into that later on, though.
We will. All right, Rhodey. Oranges and lemons, mate. What's been happening?
Well, there's some big news on the horizon for the All the Gear But No Idea team.
Ooh.
So that's my orange.
Oh, you letting any more out, or you just
we've
keeping
been
a little under wraps?
We've been doing a little bit of shopping, spent a fair bit of time on boat sales, and there might be a new vessel on the way in the not too distant future.
Ooh. There we go.
Am I counting my chickens before they've hatched? Is
There we go. Bang! Here goes bang. Yeah, no, very exciting times, mate.
So that's in the pipeline.
Yes, yeah, it's a bit. It'd be sad. What happens to the tinny if we sell that? Sad to see that.
It'll be bittersweet.
It will be.
Look, let's not count our chickens before they've hatched, and let's get that all signed and sealed before we go making any big statements. But I'm calling it just about a done deal.
Oh, okay. Yes, well.
So
you heard it, guys.
We'll release more details as time goes on.
Yes.
Diz, what do you got for us?
Well, mate, look, I've been just absolutely rapt to get a few early Christmas presents this year.
Yeah, what do you got?
That'll go a long way towards a new reel.
Oh, yeah? What are you on the market for?
Look, I'm eyeing off a Saragossa or one of those new slammers.
Is this for the tuna?
Yeah, mate, for the tuna season.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Just copying me with the Saragossa?
Yeah, that's what's sort of turning me off the Saragossa, but... So you don't do it justice, mate. Maybe I should get one and show you how to catch some fish.
Sure about that, cool. All right, what's your lemon?
Well, look, this has actually finally got some merit, this comment, because we've said this many a times about how poor the weather's been, but the wind this weekend was next level.
It was, wasn't it?
It was unbelievably horrible, and we were looking forward to getting out on the boat this weekend to try and catch some fish, but there was just absolutely no chance of it.
No, wasn't happening.
We're going to need a grain trawler to get out there. What was yours, mate?
Now, in our last episode, we were talking about the anchor video, the how-to video that we put up on the YouTube, Diz, weren't we?
Yes, we were.
Starring yours truly.
Starring yourself, but very good video cameraman work, I thought.
So my lemon is my how-to video not getting nearly as many watches as yours.
Oh.
I don't know why no one liked the anchor.
Really?
Everyone got around your sponge in a burley pot like it was big news.
It was big news, mate.
Yeah.
It was huge news.
And you didn't give your old man the credit he deserved.
And what do you mean by not nearly? Is it sort of around the mark?
Well, it's neck and neck, but you're definitely in front.
That's rough.
No, you're about 300 ahead, I think, mate.
Oh dear, very good. Well, anyway, there'll be some more to come.
Hopefully
I'll let you redeem yourself.
I'm going to come through with the goods next weekend.
And you were repping a cap in that, mate.
It's a nice cap, isn't it?
Segue into the merch.
You're repping your cap as we speak.
Seriously good caps. And Dan Way has shown how much use you can get out of it.
I think Bill Sando is another one with the well-worn caps.
Well-worn, yes.
So they'd be leading the charge, I reckon.
They almost sort of get better, don't they?
They age well.
Yeah, they get some character on them. And they get better. They're like a fine wine, really.
And we did put a post up on the Instagram, I think last week, saying about the Christmas present buying.
Yes.
And you really couldn't go past it, could you?
No, you couldn't. Well, everybody needs to fill a stocking this time of year.
So that's why I'm lucky. I've actually done all my Christmas presents. I've just got everyone a cap.
True. That's a good way to go about it, I would have thought.
So done and dusted in one hit.
Absolutely. All right, we'll get on to it. You can hit us up on Facebook or Instagram. We'll sort one out, get it in the mail to you.
All right, big week of news, Diz. What do you got for us?
Well, Rody, mate, this has been something that we have touched on quite regularly throughout the last sort of few episodes.
It's a long-term news item.
Haven't we? But this is in relation to the licence surrender. So there was 130 applications from professional fishermen to leave the industry. 115 line fishermen and 15 net licences were applied. 35 of the Gulf St Vincent holders, 4 from the southeast, 66 Spencer Gulf and 25 from the west coast. Now, we broke this last week that they budgeted for up to 150, didn't they?
They did.
And so getting 130, they seem to be quite happy with that result.
Well, yeah. David Basham has said it's a strong result,
Okay.
was the quote.
Yeah.
So there's too many fishers and not enough fish, and the voluntary licence surrender program is the first step in our vitally important reform process, was the quote from the minister.
Okay. Yep.
So they've got close, but they haven't quite got them all, have they?
No, they haven't.
So the other part of this story is that Mr. Basham has said that fishers had up until November 30, which has passed, to apply for consideration if they were unhappy with the quota they had been allocated under the system.
Yeah.
So that was that. We've talked about this in the past, how they were going to break up the total allowable catch.
Yeah.
Retired Magistrate Dr. Andrew Cannon now has those applications that have been submitted. He's going to examine each case on a case-by-case basis and determine if their allocation was fair based on any evidence of exceptional circumstances.
Well, that will be interesting.
It will be interesting to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Because I know that the data was taken from a few years ago. So those that have just started, I think might fall into that boat.
You would think that Dr. Andrew Cannon would be looking exceptionally close at those who have just entered into the industry.
Yes.
Right? That would be taking up most of his time, I'd say.
I would have thought.
He'd be losing sleep over that?
Me or him?
Him.
I think it's a big job. It's an important job because it's people's livelihoods you're dealing with, Diz.
It is, mate. And I think there definitely needs to be some consideration for them because I hope there's a good result for all in that regard. Rhodey, seagrass seeds for snapper, mate. This has been over the net and it's an excellent program which we're going to support.
Yes,
Tell us about it.
So Oz Fish Australia, the conservation charity, is calling for the community to assist with the collecting of seeds through the month of December. So over 6,000 hectares of seagrass meadows have been lost, which is over a fifth of Adelaide's metropolitan fishing grounds, which has been devastating for the local fisheries ecology.
Yes.
So throughout, generally around the month of December, Posidonia is the variety of seagrass we're talking here, produces a fruiting body which floats to the sea surface. Ozfish are calling on recreational fishers and boat owners to collect the fruit on the sea surface or washed up on shore across Adelaide beaches. They're aiming to collect 1 million seeds during our first year across Adelaide beaches, which will restore around 1 hectare of seagrass meadows. So pretty much they're asking if you're walking on the beach, you know the little fruit, the green fruit you see this time of year?
Yes.
They want you to pick up bucket loads of it.
Collect as much as you possibly can.
If you're out in the water, you go through those patches where there's streams of it.
Yeah, drop the net
Get
down.
the net out, pick it all up, put it in a bucket.
Yeah.
And then they want you to drop it off to the Cruising Yacht Club of South Australia.
Yep.
There are particular days when you can do that.
Yep.
And once you've signed up as a registered collector on the Ozfish website, I believe, they'll then let you know when and where you can drop that all off.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Because we don't want it sitting on the beach and rotting. That's the main bit.
No, so make sure you pick it up and get it to them as quick as possible.
Pick it up and get it to. You got to keep it moist in some seawater and out of the sunlight.
Yeah, correct.
And then you can get it down to the CYC.
And that's a good way that anyone can contribute to the ecology
Yes,
to the efforts.
Yeah, you might find a little primary school or something gets involved, gets
Yep.
kids down there, walks the beach.
Could
picks
be
up
like
the
a
rubbish. Excursion.
a good, community activity.
It could be.
It's like, what's that day called where you pick up the rubbish? Clean Up Australia Day.
Yes, that's the one.
Maybe this could grow into the next one of them.
Yeah.
Pick up Seagrass Day.
I like it. It's good.
Good idea.
All right, Brody, the Glenelg Reef, mate, done and dusted. I think it's complete now, or they certainly have done a large majority of the work. It was $1 million project. Friend of the show and former guest of the show, Anita Nedasiko, she has been heading up this team of the Glenelg Reef, and it's a very similar concept to the Windara Reef, which we've covered on the podcast, just on a smaller scale. So this one is approximately the size of Adelaide Oval. There is going to be no fishing on that site for 12 months, and then it will be reassessed, and that will depend on the success of the establishment of that reef. And it's the same. It's a limestone reef base, and then they just pour heaps of flatbed oysters and mussels along there to build up the reef, and away they go.
And if you want to know more about this process, Anita did go into a lot of depth on episode 13 about the whole process of how they set up the Windara Reef and how they were tracking on this Glenelg Reef.
Yep.
So that's a good one to go back if you really want to know exactly how it all goes on.
Yes, absolutely. And I think they've had a dive on it recently. They're impressed to see some big schools of squid, blue swimmer crabs, leatheries, goatfish, the likes, all across it. So the signs are looking good early.
So big congratulations to the Nature Conservancy.
Yes.
Which is Anita Nedasiko's organisation she's involved with.
Yes.
And they've done a lot of work with this.
Yeah, they have. They've partnered up with the government bodies and the likes to get this one across the line. So it's really good. And then, they're going to roll out some more. I think they're eyeing off Port Lunga and some of the other sites across the state. So that would be good. And in fact, one little bit of trivia for you. If they do get these projects as successful, then Australia will be the first ever country to recover from a critically endangered ecosystem.
Well, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Because we hear a lot of negatives about the environment these days, don't we?
It'd be a big old tick.
Good to have a tick in the box.
Absolutely. All right, Roddy, next piece of news. Hit us with it, mate.
All right, this is another friend of the show, Lee Van Soest, has been
She's doing some great
chairing and behind this project.
Mm-hmm.
Her fishing junior clinics that she's been setting up has been locked and loaded. It is called Reeling In Junior Anglers. It's been given a name. It's been registered as an organisation. So a big congratulations to Lee and her team on that.
Yes.
And they've also announced as a part of this project, they're looking for kids fishing ambassadors. They're looking for 7 junior anglers between the ages of 7 and 16 across different areas of the state, so the different geographical areas. So they want people to write a 250 to 500 word recollection of a fishing adventure, plus attach some pictures. If you submit this to Lee via email during the month of January, you'll be in the running to be one of these 7 junior ambassadors.
Yes. Yeah, and you've got to be a member, haven't you, Roddy?
So you've got to join up to the Reeling In Junior Anglers Facebook page and pay, I think it costs $20 to be a member of the organisation for the juniors. And they'll all go up on Facebook, all those applications, and we'll have a vote.
Yeah, excellent. Really good.
So if you've got young kids or you know of families that might want to get involved, it's a great way to start their fishing careers.
Yeah, excellent. No, we really like this from Lee. It's excellent work. We look forward to seeing those applications.
And Josh Davey is a marine biologist and keen fisher who'll mentor the ambassadors. So they'll learn a lot, I'm sure.
Absolutely, they will. That's really good. So watch this space on that one. There'll be more to come there, Roddy.
Yeah, certainly will. What's next is?
Well, a bit of EPA pollution in Port Lincoln, mate.
Yeah, so 26 tonne of sewage was spilled from a bulk carrier on October 25.
Not good.
It's not good at all, is it?
No, it's not. They've closed some areas, public beaches, haven't they? Already Shelley Beach to Curtin Point this morning, and they're going to be doing some water testing samples to sort of see what that brings back. Yeah,
and I think that's ongoing, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be. they'll want to make sure that it's nice and safe before they open that back up to the public, I would have thought.
Yeah, they certainly will. And I, for one, don't want to go swimming or fishing or doing anything in sewage.
No, neither do I. That's probably one of your number one things before you get in the beach, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. The less poo, the better.
All right, now we've seen this on Minister Basham's Facebook page and across other outlets. There's been a serious illegal haul of blue swimmer crabs, which we are not happy about. November 1st, the fisheries officers have seen a man with an esky pouring a large amount of crabs onto the tidal flats at Thompson's Beach.
So he saw the officers and then decided to dump his catch, did he?
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate, but the officers saw him with what appeared to be far too many crabs for one person. And
it certainly was far too many, wasn't it? He didn't just take one or two over the limit.
In fact, he had 126 of them. And tell everyone how many of those were undersized.
Well, 2 were actually legal size. He had 124 undersized crabs.
This is not a laughing matter, but it's quite obscene that someone can break the law.
It's actually ridiculous how people do this and how they think it's okay.
It's unbelievable. And he's facing fines of up to, I think, $20,000. Is that right?
I believe, yes.
And he should be getting every single dollar of
And
that.
I think we're going to talk about this in a minute about how you can report this sort of activity.
Yes, we
But
are.
if you see this sort of thing going on,
yes,
we do not encourage it.
No, we don't encourage it. This is a blatant flouting of the rules.
It's real flog behaviour, isn't it?
It is absolute flog behaviour, and this bloke deserves the full force of the law.
I just hope he doesn't know where you live, Diz, because you're teeing off here.
No, this is shocking. You can't tell me you can go and catch 126 crabs, and then what makes it even worse is only 2 of them were size.
It's not good. And this happens too often, doesn't it?
It's horrific.
But the only good thing to take out of this is they are publicising that they're punishing people.
Yes.
And they're hitting them with big fines.
Yeah.
So the more they can do that, hopefully it turns people off it and we all respect the ecosystem a bit more.
Yes, I hope we do. And the officers have done a good job catching him, so I'm impressed with their work too. Rhodey, another piece of bad news here, mate.
This news segment's gone downhill here.
As we're talking about people flouting the rules, people missing. Tell us about it. What's going on, mate?
So, yes, it hasn't been a good couple of weeks. I think last weekend emergency crews were called to Browns Beach in Innes National Park after a man fell off the rocks into the sea.
It's a bit of a serial offending place, that, isn't it?
It's a bit of a treacherous spot. So police, sea rescue, CFS, ambulance, park rangers and rec fishermen, so they had every man his dog on the search. Unfortunately, they did pull a man in his 30s out of the water. He was unable to be revived and died at the scene.
Yeah, it's not good.
I haven't actually seen definitely that he was fishing, but seems likely.
Yeah, it seems likely off the rocks there.
So that's a bit of a warning to people to be very respectful, particularly when rock fishing, of the dangerous nature of it.
Yeah, it's a good point. You've got to take all the right safety gear, plenty good footwork, life jacket, make sure people know where you are. All those things are very important. Rhodey, another missing person.
Yes, so there was another couple of deaths off Lake Alexandrina, just north of Malang. So they went out in an inflatable canoe and didn't return. One man was found floating in the water. He was treated for hypothermia and looked after, so he was okay. The other man's body was not found for 6 days and then found 25 kilometres northeast of Malang, a 31-year-old from Brahma Lodge. So that's very unfortunate that there's been another death boating in the state. Yeah,
it's not good. It's not good, mate. And while you're at it, you might as well hit us with the last one of those stories breaking.
This one's a little bit more positive.
Yes.
So 2 blokes went out off Cape Jarvis on Thursday afternoon at 2:30.
Yep.
They didn't return at the expected time and police were informed at 11:50 p.m. and a search was commenced. The police helicopter, as well as the Challenger search and rescue plane from Victoria, provided by the Australian Maritime Safety Authority, were put to the job. They found these 2 blokes on Friday morning on, I think it was North Pages Island, out off Backstairs Passage. Their boat was upturned. SAPOL Water Operations Unit coordinated the recovery of the 2 men, aged 47 and 48. They were taken to Victor Harbour Hospital for checkups, but were uninjured.
Okay, that's good.
And we've just got one more.
Yes.
This is a recent one. This only broke today. So there was a shark attack over on KI. 000 was called at about 2:30 this afternoon. A surfer off, I think, Destrees on the south coast was bitten by what was thought to be a great white. The man was able to paddle to shore and a member of the public was driving him to Kingscote. Paramedics met the car on the road and took him the rest of the way. He's since been airlifted to Adelaide with what is thought to be non-life-threatening injuries.
Gosh, mate, been a bad week.
Has been a bad week. Should we move on to something a little bit more positive?
Yeah, well, you might as well hit the listeners with a bit of other bad news last week when that guy's boat got nicked.
Now, this is the good news. It's been found.
Yes, well, it's the bad news that turned to good news.
So, Adelaide Builder has lost his Bar Crusher 670. So, it spent 6 days missing. It disappeared overnight off his mooring at Black Point. I think initially they thought, look, it's broken free. Did we hook it on properly? Let's go have a look for it. Sea rescue involved. No sign of it. So then they draw the conclusion that, oh, it's not here. It's not floating out there. Where is it? Someone's nicked it.
Yeah.
So that was all over Facebook. So the community, the fishing community did do a good job of getting that out there, trying to find the boat if it had been stolen.
Yeah.
But it did actually turn up 6 days later at Proof Range, which is just south of Port Wakefield.
Yeah, well, that's good news.
Good news indeed.
Hopefully the boat's unscathed
Yes.
and Nick can get back out there and chase the fish.
And if that boat could tell stories, it would have had a few to tell you.
Absolutely. All right, Roddy, one more little news subject. We do want to touch on this with the listeners. The SA Fishing app has been redeveloped, redesigned. It's if you had the old app, you just update it, but otherwise jump on to either Android or the App Store and download the SA Fishing app because it's got plenty of features. So all the usual stuff. It's got the size, bag, boat limits for all the species, general rules, permitted fishing gear, closures. But one thing we do want to touch on is you can report illegal activity, you can report shark sightings, aquatic pests which are of interest to PIRSA and other government bodies. So it's a really handy app if you are a recreational fisherman or fisherwoman because you'll get lots of helpful information off there as well as being able to tap into some stuff which we'd like you to.
And there's also, it's got a fishing diary so you can save where you caught your fish, you can post your pictures on social media.
Yep.
It's got some sort of weather forecasting and warnings.
Yes,
It's got your tide information, it's got all your rec fishing news.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good way for people to keep in the loop.
Yeah, and I think we sort of briefly talked about this with Minister Basham a while ago, and when they want to start getting some accurate information on catches and thing, I suspect that they'll be using that app as a platform for that kind of thing. Rhodey, you'd agree?
Definitely.
Excellent.
Definitely a step in the right direction.
All right, mate. Well, we've had a good, big, solid week in news there. Some bad news stories, some unfortunate news stories, but good to keep the listeners up to date with what's happening across the state, and certainly some things we'll be talking about in future episodes.
Definitely.
We look forward to that.
We do. I'm also looking forward to this, Diz.
Welcome to the show, Lubin Pfeiffer, an extremely well-credentialed fisherman. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but 2020 Commonwealth Fly Fishing Champion, gold medal individual and silver in the team. Your wife, Casey, won the gold. You're a writer for SA Angler, and we love what you do on the Full Scale Fishing Adventures show on YouTube. Have we missed anything, Lubin?
There's probably other stuff there as
I'm
well.
sure
but
there is.
It's it's hard to list everything out sometimes. But yeah, definitely the Commonwealth's win this year was a pretty special achievement, that's for sure.
Yes, it's certainly one to put on the resume and up on the mantelpiece. We were very impressed when we heard that news.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
All right, Lubin, we're going to get into our 5 questions we ask all our guests. To get us started, tell us about your best fish, mate.
I had a lot of, it's funny, it's a simple question, but I had a lot of thought into this, and probably going with that Commonwealth theme, there was a fish in the second session, so you've got to average well over each of the sessions to win the competition, and it was in the second session, and I had a tough beat, and I had only a few fish, and I think there was 5 minutes to go, and I made the decision to run right down the beat, probably 200 metres down the river. With only a couple of minutes to go, I caught a rainbow trout about 30 centimetres long, so not a big fish, but that gave me a couple extra points that would have won me the championship. So I think out of, all the fish that I could think of, that one's a pretty special one.
Yeah, I bet it was. It'd be very memorable if you realise it's the one that got you across the line. That's for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
Lubin, your favourite thing about fishing?
I think there's a lot of good things about fishing. I think it's the places you get to go and the adventures it takes you, and the people you get to meet. I actually met my wife through fishing, Casey. So, I think as it's quite a community as a fisher person. So I think there's a lot to love about it.
Certainly is, and I suppose the further we get into this podcast, the more we learn. It's all very interconnected, and everyone's got hopefully lots of positive things to say about the fishing community, as you say.
Definitely.
Lubin, what is your first fishing memory, or what got you into it, mate?
Well, I think my first fishing memories are of my parents and Nana and Pop taking me down to the Murray, and we just bait fish off the bank. So that would be my earliest fishing memory. And I think what got me into it was, I think, once again, it's a sort of sense of adventure and wanting to go explore things. And I think, as soon as I started fishing, that sort of fit the bill pretty well.
Yeah, fantastic. It's a common theme, I think. Everybody wanting to get in the great outdoors, which is excellent. And Lubin, we're interested in your favourite sort of fishing. I guess we might know this one, and tell us why as well.
I would have to say Murray Cod Fishing.
Yeah.
And I think because it is hard, and there's always, I've done a lot of fishing in the last few years and got to experience a lot of cool stuff, but I think nothing quite beats for me being out in a remote part of the Murray-Darling Basin somewhere, and there's no one for kilometres, and it's just you sort of and the fish, and there's not many. Well, really, all across the world, we're pretty lucky to have that big, amazing river and those wild fish in there that grow to such sizes and eat lures. It's we're pretty lucky to have that fishery for sure.
Certainly we are, and it's certainly very untouched, a lot of that water that you're talking about, which is another great part of it too, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right, and Lubin, what about through all this fishing you've done over the years? You must have a funny story or the big one that got away.
I thought a lot about this too, because it's sort of hard to pin down one, but I had a bit of a funny story it's coming up on one of the episodes. At least Colby Lesko, who I was fishing with, thought it was the funniest thing he's seen. And we were fishing out on a point at Lake Proserpine for Barra. This was probably 3 weeks ago, and everything was going well. We were filming away, and I hooked the fish we needed to get. And as I was fighting it, it got to the boat, and it did this weird run to the left, went up around the electric motor, and jumped on the other side of the boat. And as it's done that, the props caught the the line, and ripped myself and the rod, which snapped in the electric. The fish jumped in front of the boat again and fell off, and I was left with no fish and a snapped rod. And Colby said it was the funniest thing he's ever seen in his life. So, I thought that was pretty good.
Sometimes it's hard not to laugh at other people's misfortune, especially on the boat. I can imagine that would have been pretty funny. All right, Lubin, let's get into some of your other fishing achievements. I'm sure it was probably your biggest fishing achievement, but tell us a bit about the gold medal. That would have been extremely exciting.
Yeah, I've been competition fishing for probably 15 years now, I think, and it's a funny thing, because as much as you can be good at what you do, fishing the way that it is, there's always a bit of luck, or you need to have things go your way to get the result. And this just happened to be, this competition was on waters that I knew quite well. And I drew very well, meaning that I had good beats on the river, I had good boat partners, and for all of those sets of circumstances to come together and be able to, catch the fish that I needed to catch, it's something I'll never ever forget, that's for sure.
Yes, no, it's certainly a huge achievement, and we're very impressed that a great bloke from South Australia has gone over and taken on the world league.
Twice native South Australia. Yeah. I think I know. As a trout angler from South Australia, I think you actually have to fish harder for your fish. So when you go to particularly places like New Zealand where the fishing's really easy, it's like being on holiday. So I think people that experience tough fishing often, when the fishing's really good, they can really shine.
I bet the New Zealanders would love that, wouldn't they? If you go over there, you're like, the fishing's really easy.
Absolutely, yeah.
No, we love that. And so, Lubin, you've been doing a bit of travelling around in a van and fishing sort of, obviously full time. You've had a lot to keep you busy. Has that been for the last 2 years or so? Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, a bit over 2 years. So I worked for Big Angry Fish for a few years.
Oh, yeah.
We sort of, my wife and I made the decision to travel and fish full time, doing the Big Angry Fish thing, and then sort of things changed with Big Angry Fish, and the show ended, and then we made the decision to start the full scale and keep on the road full time. So we've been really fortunate to be able to go all across Australia and fish full time and live in a van, which is pretty random. But it's been a really amazing sort of couple of years and a bit. Just the things we've seen and been able to experience fishing wise, it's been unbelievable. And
has there been a highlight during this big journey, Lubin? What's your favourite spot?
I suppose every place has its highlights.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to catch a brown trout that would have been 17, sort of 18 pounds down at the in Tassie.
Wow.
Sight fishing, and we caught permit on the flats, on floating crabs in Weeper, and sight fishing big barramundi. And so I think each state's probably had its highlight rather than just one highlight in itself.
Yeah, you would have had some amazing...
It's hard to just pin down one and just go, that was the best thing. Because, that other thing was pretty cool as well.
Yeah, it wouldn't be doing all the other stuff you've done justice, I suppose. You don't have a boat in... Do you take, you got a boat in tow with you, Lubin, or you...
Yeah, well, I had a old Quintrex Explorer Trophy that I had for many, many years, and we towed that around with us for the last... couple of years, and did Tassie and Queensland and New South Wales and stuff in it. And then I've recently upgraded the hull to a new one, which was a little bit sad because the old boat had been so many places with us, and it was really just a part of the family. But so I've recently upgraded to another tinny, but just a slightly more capable one.
It's certainly a bittersweet moment when you sell one boat and buy the other, because you've got all the memories and all the good times that you've had on it. So we can totally relate with that. Now, tell us, through all this travelling, I know you've been through many states of Australia with this fishing, particularly over the last couple of years. What do you think, having been spent a lot of time in South Australia, but now gone out and seen what it's like in other states? Tell us what you think about the state of fishing in South Australia. I know there's been a lot of sort of controversy over the kingy fishing and the fishing licences and things like that. What do you think about how the fishery is being managed at the moment?
It's hard because it is a very political subject, but I just think that we're doing such a bad job of the South Australian fisheries at the moment, really. You look at the things that have been taken away from us, you can't lift a cod of any size out of the water, let alone even if it's from the Broughton River, which is a stocked fishery.
Yeah.
And that's just madness, and then we can't fish for snapper anymore, and we're commercially netting, spawning aggregations of large kingfish, and there's all these things that you can't do anymore, and then when you go interstate and you realise the benefits of fishing licences, you see how much work we've really got to do. There's a lot of great stuff about South Australia, but I think fishery-wise, in my time, I've seen a lot of things decline very badly just from mismanagement, I think.
Yeah, we would have to share some of those thoughts. I think it would be fair to say, Lubin, we've discussed this with a number of different people, and I think it's disappointing.
I was actually listening to your podcast with Shane Mensforth and how he was talking about it's just $30. Like this year, I bought a Queensland impoundment license. I've got a New South Wales and Victorian license, which I buy as 3 years anyway. I've had a Tasmanian one, and I've also had a New Zealand fishing license. So for me, like, I'd pay $100 for a South Australian license if I knew that we all had to just put in a little bit more to get all the stuff sorted out, and then once everything's cranking, we can go back to what the Victorian model is at $30 or something like that. But I think in the scheme of things, something like $100 is a smaller amount when you think about how much people spend on fuel and all that sort of stuff to catch a fish. And I think we really do need to look at something like a fishing license, just so that particularly rec fishers have got a voice into the way things should be managed a bit better. And
particularly if you had some sort of guarantee that you knew that $100 you put in every year was going to go back into the industry, and things like the Murray Cod stocking in Victoria and some of those other states do some of those things so well. If we had a bit of a money pit that we could put up some of these reefs and stocking fish, it'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, it's funny. I was fishing at Port Pirie. This was last week, and coming back, I thought I'd go and check out the Bundalia Reservoir because I've been catching yellows and silvers and stuff in there. And I came along the main road, which is in between Laura and Yakka, where you turn off to Gulnair towards the lake, and absolutely no signage. Like if you were anywhere else, whether it would be Tassie or Victoria, it would say, Lake Eildon with an arrow. And then when I actually got to the lake, there was these very little blue signs that were hard to find to direct you to where you could get to the gate to get into the lake. And I sort of thought it's almost like, if they don't want you to know about fishing or something like that. I just think, it's something as simple as putting up a sign to say, hey, you can go fishing here. When you get a license involved, all that sort of stuff gets sorted out.
Yeah, that's right. And that stuff's really easy once you get a license, and then you just start getting some traction and take on bigger and bigger projects, and away things go. It's almost a bit of a snowball effect in some regards with that.
Yeah, and be proud of, they worked really hard with all the stocking into the lakes, and, that's something we should be proud of, and, make it known that you can go up there and go catch fish rather than just sort of hiding it or something.
Yes, well, certainly, hopefully it takes a turn in the right direction as soon as possible and we get some of those things happening. All right, so Lubin, let's move on to your fishing show, the Full Scale Fishing Adventures. You've been doing it for a little while now. We've seen some great episodes. Certainly taught us a lot, and I'm sure it's taught a lot of others plenty. Tell us about how that came to be and how you're enjoying it.
Well, I am enjoying it because I get to go fishing all the time, which is really good. It is a lot of work to put everything together, but I'm sure that's a small sacrifice. We've once I was doing stuff for Big Aaron Fish, and then once that sort of ended, we sort of made this concept that we might be able to, everything was moving online anyway. I think from our point of view and a lot of others, that people just haven't got the time to sit down at 4:00 on a Saturday afternoon to watch a fishing show. And YouTube just seems to be the way to go. So we sort of come up with this idea of doing our 15-minute episodes here, there and everywhere. And we got some really good sponsors on board. And so that's how the Full Scale sort of started. And now, we're sort of changing the format a little bit, that we're doing an episode each week now, rather than just like an episode and a tech talk, which we had been doing. So, we'll be going into the next 12 months, and we've got some really cool stuff lined up. Like, got some big cods the other day, and there's some cool shows coming up.
Yeah, we really look forward to it. You probably answered our next question. Tell us about some of your big cods. You must have had a good story of one that was difficult to catch. Well, they're all difficult to catch, I suppose.
One that was difficult to catch. I wanted to get a big topwater. I've caught fish on topwater up in the fast water, like further up the Murray, but one in the lower locks had eluded me for quite some time, and I think it would have been not last season, the season before. I spent a whole week. I caught fish during the day on subsurface, but I dedicated a whole week to fishing mornings and afternoons, getting a big topwater cod. And on the 6th, I think morning, 6th or 7th morning, at about 9:30 in the morning. So he started at probably 6 a.m. or slightly before, and at 9:30, one over 120 centimetres came up and smashed the lure in the daylight on the Murray. It's pretty good.
Impressive catch, that one, Lubin, and we would love to do something similar to that ourselves. I cop a little bit of stick for the tadpole-sized Murray cod I've caught a few of.
Yeah, well, go on. Tell Lubin about your tadpole.
So I'm a bit of a tadpole specialist, as the boys would tell you. But what would be your number one tip for someone that wants to catch a proper Murray cod?
Well, it's definitely a game of perseverance, but you need to put on a lure that catches cod. Like the other day I was using a really large diver, big profile. It had a rattle, and it's just a dedicated cod lure, like a big cod lure, and then you need to go to all the best snags on the river and just put a cast at every single one of them until you hook a fish. And but sometimes it might be an hour, and other times it might be 6 days, but you will eventually get a bite.
Yeah, that's a good tip, and one which you might be able to take away, Roddy.
Bit of perseverance is needed by the sounds.
Definitely.
Lubin, you're a regular writer for SA Angler, and we love reading your segments in the magazine. Tell us how you got into that, and you've obviously got a good relationship with the men's fourths.
Yes, been doing that for I don't know how many years now. It'll be a few, yeah, I'm not sure how I actually got into it. I guess I just sent an idea through to Shane, and it was probably something on the Broughton River or something like that back in the day, and sort of just kept writing. Basically, I actually had a paper column in the local paper here, so between that and SA Angler, and just kept writing more and more, and now I've done one every issue for quite a few years now. So. I guess it's just something that grows with that sort of relationship.
Mm. And it's certainly it's a great publication, SA Angler, and yourself and Jamie and Shane and all the regular contributors are great advocates for the state. So it's great to see the magazine really going from strength to strength in this day and age.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Shane does a very good product, and he holds a high standard, and that definitely sort of comes through in the publication for sure.
Yeah, and Lubin, moving forward, what's next on the agenda? What are you looking for in the next 12 months? Plenty more episodes of the show? Any more travel plans, or are you going to spend a bit of time in SA, or what's on the agenda?
Well, we're actually off to Vic in a week or two or something like that, and then we've got 3 months in Tasmania in the van from January through to March, and then I'm going on a cod fishing bender for a couple of months, and then there might be a trip up to Queensland again, or possibly WA this time, heading towards sort of springtime. So that's the rough plan at this stage.
Well, you look forward to seeing all of your episodes along the way. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, you've been an excellent guest, Lubin. We can't thank you enough for your time, and you've obviously achieved a massive amount in fishing, and we thank you for sharing all of your adventures.
No, easy done. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, thanks a lot for your time, Lubin. We look forward to seeing what's next.
Awesome. Cheers, boys.
Thanks, mate. All right, it's great to hear from Lubin Pfeiffer.
Yes, he was an excellent guest, and we look forward to seeing his adventures on the full scale.
I'm looking forward to the big Murray Cod trip he's on.
Yes. He's Murray Cod bender.
He catches a lot of Murray Cod at the best of times, so I'd hate to see what he does on a bender.
Well, you might need to put a little tracking device on him for that Murray Cod bender and see if we can't go and flick a few lures around with him.
I just think he's got way too much patience for us.
Yeah, no, he's got us covered. The sort of stuff Pez would admire in a cod fisherman.
Yes, no, he's a good man.
Good call.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, no, that was a great segment. All right, Roddy, let's get stuck into the report, mate. There's a bit been happening, and it's absolutely fair to say that the Kingies have been firing and continue to do so at Port Augusta.
They've been going for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah,
it seems like we're talking about this every week at the moment, but there is more photos turning up on Facebook, Instagram.
Big donkeys.
There is. Did you also see there was a great white washed up
Yes.
off Point Lowly?
Yeah, that was weird.
So I don't know if we ever really got any goss on what had happened there.
What did they do, like an autopsy on it or something?
So I think they did say they were going to look into it,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure we've heard any results.
Yes, no, watch this space.
All right.
Are we hearing this? They are turning up on the west coast for tuna already.
Yes.
Is that truth?
Yeah, that's the truth. There's been some, I think, some false reports from what I read of tuna off Victor Harbour, but I think that's a little bit of attention seeking going on.
Yeah, a little bit of sort of send if you can't send a few boats out there.
Yes, a few people playing funny buckets. But they have hit the west coast, so they won't be far off hitting the York Peninsula and Victor Harbour type boaters.
Has anybody posted the GPS coordinates of the Woolworths canned tuna aisle yet?
That's always a good gag too, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
All right, there's been plenty of King George whiting at Port Lincoln.
Yeah, so young fella Archie's angling on Instagram. Have you got him?
Yeah, I've seen that.
He got a heap off the jetty.
Well, Lincoln and then the bag out off Kingscote jetty, in the winter.
Yeah.
Some pretty serious jetty fishing if you get in the bag. Or
There is. So
close
well
to
done
it.
to young Archie. And what about the sand whiting, yellowfin whiting, Diz?
Yeah, mate, they start firing up in the summer months, don't they?
And there's been a few reports floating around off both the Metro beaches and the York Peninsula.
Yes, yep.
And interestingly, a couple of our guests, last week's guest Jamie Crawford and Shane Mensforth, both of whom have been out and caught every fish under the sun.
Yep.
They both said that was their favourite sort of fishing, didn't they?
Yeah, they love targeting them, don't they? Just walking along the beach, finding a nice little juicy hole to flick a few poppers into or some surface lures into.
Good fun, isn't
What's
it?
the go-to, mate? Little red belly, white top rattler,
The top water lures, yep.
top water poppers.
Yeah, no, they're good.
You
Good
change the
gear.
trebles to singles or...
Yeah, I've done that in the past. I'm no expert though.
Yeah, neither am I. Be an interesting conversation to have with somebody who knew what they were talking about, though.
Yeah, it's certainly not you. But,
We saw some good catches off the SA Angler crew, though, with Gav.
yes. Yeah, no, so the SA Angler does an annual trip over with Gav on KI Fishing Adventures.
And why wouldn't you, really?
Sounds like they caught a hell of a lot of sharks.
Yeah, the little spiel about their trip was very much that they couldn't get away from the sharks.
Yes, it was. It was.
Yes, very interesting. But that's on the bucket list, mate, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and we're definitely gonna. We have been out a number of times with Gav,
Yeah.
but we would like to do an overnight job.
Yeah, no, it'd be good to be getting out far and wide on those sort of overnighters, that's for sure. And look, I bumped into somebody at the near the pharmacy the other day. Reckons he bagged out a big garfish off Tipara Reef.
Yeah, good. They're good
Yeah.
eating garfish too.
Very good eating. And he was sort of, I'd say bragging would probably be the right word. That they're really easy to fillet when they're massive. You don't have to, easy
He's
to
probably
butterfly
right
them.
on that front.
Yeah, when they're bigger, they're easy.
They're
to
very
fillet,
fiddly,
sure.
the small ones.
Yeah, good call. And that just about wraps up the report for the week, Roddy.
Yeah, that's where they've been biting, guys.
Yep, get around it. And while you're getting around that fishing report, get around us on the socials.
Yeah,
really.
we love a bit of a check-in on all the listeners. Tell us what you've been catching, where
Tell
you've
us what you're
been.
doing. Tell us what you want us to talk about.
Take some pictures to stitch up your mates.
Yeah, stitch them up.
We love it.
If they put a YouTube video up and it gets 1/10 of the likes and the views, stitch them up about it.
I don't know what you're talking
Don't you
about,
reckon?
mate. All right, let's keep moving. Now, Diz, this is a big moment in the show's history.
Oh, yeah, it is. It really
Now,
is.
normally, this is where we go to the humble joke of the week.
Yes. Unfortunately, my joke last week sort of permanently ended this segment.
And this is breaking news because all the way along, our good friend Dan Way, the fishing guru,
Yes.
he's been keeping us in the loop of the worst joke for the series. And unfortunately, it's been me for a long time.
It's been you for the best part of the whole show.
So for 19 episodes, I was leading the worst joke award. Episode 20, this is a direct quote from the fishing guru. That was by far the worst one yet. So we're going to go out on that note. Dizzy, you've had the worst joke.
Not good.
And there's no more fishing jokes left.
Not good. Not good. Yeah, I'm pretty flat about it.
I can't stop losing it at how bad it was. That is what Dan said on the message.
Yeah, Dan wasn't too happy with the work. Although I probably got most amount of laughs out of him.
Yeah, because he was appalled with how bad the joke was. He couldn't hold it together.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
So we have decided to leave the joke in the past.
We're leaving the joke in the past and we're moving on to bigger and brighter things. And, we're basically just going to rustle through your tackle bag at some point throughout the week and pull something out which is of interest to the listeners and talk about it.
So it's going to be something topical, something new, something interesting.
Yeah, something interesting, maybe not always topical, but just something that we've thought, everyone should have one of them in their tackle bag.
We're not going to let you pull out a spool of 20-pound monofilament line and talk about that.
No, I don't think
we'll get something a bit more interesting than that.
I think we'll get although we might pull out some, new fluoro that's hit the market or
something new
like
or
that.
different.
Yeah.
Anyway, what we're going to start with for today is we're going to talk about this it's a beautiful looking snapper release weight.
Yes.
From Savage Tackle.
Yes.
So another local mob that we love getting around.
It's reasonably topical because it won't be too long and you can fish for snapper in the
And you actually
southeast.
have to have one on board now.
Yes.
So you've got to be able to release any snapper that you accidentally catch using one of these release weights. So that's actually the rules.
Yes.
So it's not just a good thing to have, it's a legal requirement.
It is.
So we've got the 32-ounce model from Savage Tackle.
Yep.
We picked that up from Boyd down at Christie's Beach.
Yes, Boyd and Dan helped us out down there.
Yep, so that's, I think, the middle one of their range. We thought that was big enough. We don't catch big snapper at the best of times, so it's probably unlikely we'll catch a real big hua accidentally.
Yes, true.
But we haven't put it to work yet.
No, we haven't.
But we've got it on board ready. Because in the past, back in the day, if we caught a snapper, that was straight in the dinner table.
She was, straight in the esky.
So we've got one since, and we're ready to go.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's our tackle item of the week. Make sure you get onto Savage Tackle.
Yep.
They stock their gear at a lot of local tackle shops.
They do.
The other thing they do that looks quite nice is they do bloody good burley pots.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're going to treat ourselves to one of them.
We are.
That's on the shopping list for the Chris Kringle this year, I reckon.
Yeah. You buying it for me?
I don't know, I don't care who I get the Chris Kringle, I'm just going to buy it for them. But if they don't have any use for it, they can give it to the boat.
Absolutely. Fantastic. All right, that's good, mate. And get down there and support the tackle stores.
The locals.
Yeah, get down there.
All right, Diz, that's just about it for today's episode.
Thanks, mate. Good chatting with you.
Another great episode. Lubin was a ripping guest. He's an absolute gun.
Absolutely.
The fishing news was good and bad.
Yeah, no, it was up there.
Certainly some sour moments.
Plenty of it.
Plenty of news, plenty of breaking stories. And as we teased you at the start of the episode, keep your eyes peeled on the socials. There may or may not be a new boat in the pipeline.
You're guilty.
See you guys.
See ya.
Rhodey and Diz hope you enjoyed today's episode of All the Gear But No Idea. Keep up to date by liking and sharing us on Facebook and Instagram. And you can subscribe on all the major podcast platforms. Until next time, good luck fishing.